Royal TV exclusive interview, speaking to those who are changing the narrative.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Chief Christopher German podcast of Common Sense. At the Chief Christopher German podcast of Common Sense, we try to make common sense out of every sense. And remember, as he said, common sense is not common. Remember, this is coming to you from the stables of Royal TV 247. You can do as well to like, subscribe, hit that like button, so that every time we come on air, you'll be the first to be notified. And also, drop comments. It's very good for the algorithm that you drop your comments and let us know where you're watching us from. With me today on the Common Sense podcast is a very, very wonderful young man. I think I'll be right to say he's a mentee of mine, not really in that sense, but somebody I would really love to work with. And since we've met, though he's far younger than me, but he's somebody I admire. You know, he's a lover of man, nature, music, and spoken words of poetry. He's of mixed birth, Nigeria and Germany, but believes in a better world from the optimism of a true Nigerian. Please, I'd like us to make welcome somebody that I believe represents the future that we want. Not just for Nigerians, but for the Gen Zs, especially those that find it hard to read. I want you to meet a poet. Before I even call him Mister, I would like to put poet, because if the Christians say he who prays, he who sings prays twice, then I can tell you, every poet that writes makes common sense. Please meet Mr. Patrick Uchenna Anyadi. He is our guest today on the Common Sense podcast. Mr. Patrick Uchenna Anyadi, please, can you on your own make a brief introduction about yourself?
Sure, thank you for the warm welcome. Hi, Chief. And I'm really happy to be here today to help spread more of the word about my poetry. As you said, I am Nigerian, and I want to correct you because I do see myself as being Nigerian. I'm a proud carrier of the green passport.
Oh, wow.
I just had to get it from my bag.
That's
Just to show you. No, I really believe in Nigeria, and
Wow.
I believe we're going towards a brighter future. And I'm really happy to be here with you today. And you're right, I do see you as a mentor, somebody who has made already great strides in so many different areas in life. So I'm glad to be here with you today.
Tell me, growing up, just give me some little background childhood memories, because of course, you're a typical example of a good breed, somebody who has come from a home that is a mixture of discipline, love, and because the first time I met you was in church, you know, and it really shows the background of where you're coming from. And I was fortunate enough to have met your dad and your mom and be hosted in your house. And I can see the love that flows in that house. So tell our watching audiences what those childhood memories growing up in your house, how it helped form you, you know, especially somebody who suddenly, have this love for words.
So one of my earliest memories is being in St. Mary's primary school in Stoke Newington in Hackney. And I was very energetic as a child, very keen, very eager. I love books, I love studying, I love learning, I love playing. And it was time for us to get changed for our exercise class. And that memory of wanting to get ready and be prepared for exercise and for socialization with my peers, it sticks with me, because since then I've always seen myself as somebody who wants to move forward with people, wants to socialize, wants to be a main character. So I've tried to surround myself with people who can help me out on that journey, because being a poet means that you have to represent people, you have to represent ideas, cultures,
Yeah.
and so yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Or your educational, your educational influence. Because these days, it's unfortunate. Yeah. Those days we had the smart brains came out of homes that, I mean, we had a smarter generation. You have every next generation that grows smarter than the next generation. The households that produce the doctors, the lawyers, the scientists, and the rest were houses where you just had peasant farmers and other people here that produce such homes. And unfortunately, what we have now is that you have families where doctors now produce menaces to societies, because you have a generation that is not trying to be smarter than the past generation. But in your own case, you're different, because from what I've known about you, the first time I met you, I really didn't know you were a poet because you were into music. I saw your studio, you had a mini studio in your house, and you are doing great things with music. You make beats, you do other stuff and stuff like that. And now I see that you have this knack for poetry. So tell me, there must be something about your educational background that has influenced this wonderful person that you're turning into, you're imagining into. So tell me, what is it about your educational background and that really influenced the man you are today?
So I believe that my educational background came from everything and everybody around me.
Hmm.
And we have a saying, it takes a village to raise a
To
child.
build it, to train the child, yeah. Hmm.
So I really believe everybody, and I've got some books in front of me that I would like to speak to. So,
Hmm.
for example, the Bible here, this is maybe the first book that I was given by my
Yeah.
mum. Not this
Hmm.
Bible, but my mum gave me a children's Bible,
Hmm.
and it was an illustrated Bible, so I could help myself to something at my level. I could
Hmm.
understand the Bible from a child's perspective first, and then as I've got older, this is also my mum's Bible. It's a slightly
Hmm.
smaller Bible, and it doesn't have any pictures in it. It just has text. So as I've gotten older, I've also tried to tailor my educational experiences to my experience, so that I'm constantly learning something new rather than
Yeah.
sticking with the children's Bible. I've moved on now, and I also
Exactly.
sometimes I've been reading also about the Jewish influence on the Bible.
Hmm.
Jesus was a Jew,
Yeah. Yeah.
and a Christian. Jesus was the first Christian, but also a Jew. So I've been
Hmm.
reading about Judaism as well to an extent. I also read a lot of African wisdom. So this is a proverb book, Yoruba Proverbs,
Hmm.
that I've been going through with my Uncle Jide. And all these people, like my uncle Jide, for example, he's known me since I was a child. There's pictures of us in Hackney, where I was born, and there's pictures of us at a very young age talking about. But not the pictures are there, but I think in my memory I have like a movie going on when I see the picture, because I can
Hmm.
place it, I know the context. So he
Hmm.
helped me from an early age as well. And then of course there's some great poets that I've read along the way. So Chinua Achebe, very great
Yeah,
poet.
that's somebody that's influenced the whole world.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
So
So
to
yeah,
answer your question, then
yes.
all of the different people around me have educated me to an extent, and then I've
Mm.
also gone out and tried to meet them and tried to understand. Like for example, now we're having a podcast, but I'm learning a lot from you. I learned how professional you are. You turned up on time. You made the effort to speak to me to make sure that I feel comfortable. All of these things I'm learning from you.
Yeah, like you said, it takes a village to build a child, and at that, it takes a village to build a child. We'll take a commercial break now. When we come back, we're going to be asking this wonderful young man, Mr. Patrick, Anyadi. We're going to be asking him, what he thinks, his view about the countries that of which he has affiliation, especially the one that he's proudly showing us. Remember, this guy was born in Britain. I mean, this is a Nigerian. I mean, you're a Nigerian. You're mixed blood. You're Nigerian, German mother. You were born in the UK. You love Nigeria so much. So it's possible that when you are a German citizen because your mom is from Germany. You're a Nigerian citizen because your dad is a Nigerian. You're a British citizen because you were born here. Come on, man, one man. You're a wonderful person, and you've been using you've been you've used all these cultures, different cultures, have really brought out a giant, a colossus that is actually going to take the world by storm. Those of you you're going to listen, we're going to listen to some parts from his book that is written, and one of his wonderful poetic book. We're also going to hear other things. But for now, we'll take a commercial break, and we'll see you when we get back.
I came from humble birth. I preached freedom. I dreamed of peace, and I won't stay long. I pleaded turn the other cheek. I asked my people to love their neighbours, my Bible by my side. From my foes I never hid. One day I will die. I left the trail for you. They were indeed beast, the men who condemned me, those who did not believe, who said there was no mountain top, who told me to stop, who pushed me to the brink. I am for equality, for all people, full of love and goodwill. May God forgive me, I am not violent, I will not kill and burn. For I have seen the mountain top, and you cannot make me stop, lest you strike me dead. I encourage you to feel again, let the lion roar and peace reign.
All right, welcome back from that commercial break. Before we went on commercial break, we're talking about, we spoke with this wonderful man I have in the studio, the poet, the colossus of words, whom I call Mr. Anyadi Patrick, somebody that have decided to influence his generation, not just physically, but also by words. Because even in the Bible, it is said that faith cometh by hearing. And they say hearing the right words, which is the word of God. In this case, a lot of things, it's the Rwandan massacre, the Rwandan genocide was influenced by words of somebody on radio. What fueled it was the words that came out of somebody's mouth. Just called a particular people, gave them a name, stigmatized them, and before you knew it, millions, one of the worst massacre the earth have seen. Within 3 months, a lot of people were killed. So in other words, we can also use words to change society. So you're welcome back. Remember, like, subscribe, and drop your comment. So Mr. Stanley, I'm going to ask you this. What's your view about your countries of affiliation, of course, Germany, Nigeria, the United Kingdom, especially with the state of insecurity going on in Nigeria? I mean, as a poet, there must be something that you have to, that doesn't go right. And from your point of view, especially that has to do with the insecurity. Tell me.
Yeah. It's a sad situation at the moment in Nigeria, and I feel sad when I hear stories in the news that innocent people have died, and there have been so many different stories. And the story that really had captured my attention first was actually the Chibok girls.
Yeah, the Chibok girls.
And for those who may not have heard of the story, a number of over 200 young women, girls were abducted from a school in northern Nigeria. from Chibok, I believe. Chibok, yeah. Chibok girls, yeah.
In Chibok, yeah.
And they were kidnapped, and some of them, some people were also killed, and some of them were killed. Some of them were raped.
Others were married off, never to be
Married
seen
off,
again.
exactly, yeah. So some of them may
People's
not have
children.
even returned back home yet,
Yeah.
and we're now in 2026, and they're still
Not accounted for.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it is a very emotional and a very sad thing, but as a man, I try to think about the solutions that we can find to the issue and how we can move forward, rather than feeling sad after each time it happens. I try to think about different solutions and how we can change the situation. I'm not a politician, and I'm not in the position of power, but I think, actually, no, I think, yeah, no, sorry, what I meant is I'm not in a position of authority, but I'm in a position of power where I can speak.
Power, yes, exactly.
You know, where we can speak to what's happening, and yeah, I believe that it comes from the responsibility of people who maybe they feel maybe they feel that they can get away with their actions.
Yeah.
And there's a level of,
when there is no sense of repercussion. It's nobody.
impunity. I was
You
going to
just
say,
do
yeah,
what you want to do, and
yeah,
you go scot free.
yeah,
Unlike where we live, that mere calling the police on somebody, the case must be investigated. Just mere accusation, you know, and it's really painful and hard to comprehend that bunch of people can just invade the place, kill everybody, and disappear. And
yeah.
you have
There was also one podcast I've listened to recently. It's called the Hottest Bunch podcast.
Yes, the Honest Bunch.
And I think they released a podcast in the past 2-3 weeks about the insecurity in Nigeria. And I listened to that, and at least the first, maybe it's 3 hours and a half. I maybe listened to 1 to 2 hours of it. And when they spoke, they had somebody there who had actually been kidnapped by these so-called bandits. And he was saying that the money for the person that was kidnapped, he said that the money that was meant to be given for ransom was actually then even it was taken. So the money that was meant to be given to the bandits for the bandits to release him was actually then through corruption. So it was taken, and it's like, first of all, we have to think carefully about if we're going to give money to. They mentioned this on the show as well. I don't want to repeat that conversation, but they mentioned on the show that if you give money to people who are kidnappers, then they can just use that to buy more weapons and ammunition, and then
more weapons and kidnap more people.
So you have to be really careful with that. And what I want to say is that we have to be really careful as Nigerians that we take responsibility, and that we don't just feel, oh, it's a problem with the Northerners, or it's a problem with, because the Northerners, in my reading of Nigerian history and politics, they're not just one group of people. It's not just it's like the way people in the UK might blame. I'm trying to think of a marginal. So maybe you could think of Eastern Europeans. People just say, "Oh, the Eastern Europeans are taking jobs." It's the same principle with Nigeria. Like, it's not just the Northerners. The Northerners are a diverse group of people who have their own interests, their own cultures. It's not just like the Northerners. So we have to be really careful about how we say the language that we use around it. Yeah,
exactly.
Because I think we need to fight against we have to fight against the injustice, and we have to stamp down on when children are abducted, or when people are kidnapped. We have to definitely stamp down on that, but we also have to make sure that we take responsibility as a nation and try and fix our own problems, not just rely on other people to come and fix our problems, because then we lose that that agency, and that can go into our own sense of a nation. We dealt with our own problems.
Exactly.
It's
And
like
I think
somebody coming.
government has a big role to play in this, because I mean they are charged with the responsibility of safeguarding life and property. This is an oath that they took. You know, they really need to play. While security is everybody's business, yes, but I think the government plays have a very very big role to play in this. It should not be politicized. When people speak, they should not be seen that you're speaking in opposition, because like in Nigeria, if you complain, it will be taken that you are speaking out of opposition. You want to frustrate the government. But people are
Yeah.
dying. Palm Sunday in Plateau State, people were killed. Just Palm Sunday was yesterday. A bunch of guys went to Angwan Rukuba. Angwan Rukuba, there was a time I went to Plateau to organize a program. I stayed in Angwan Rukuba. In fact, that Rukuba junction, I know that Angwan Rukuba junction. It's just bunch of guys on bike were just shooting people, just killing people. Who does that? And they disappeared. Like killed people, cracked people with cutlass. I mean, yesterday, Palm Sunday, they just killed innocent people. Who does that? And that's it. You have a book already in the market, yeah? Is it on? You published a book?
Yeah. Here it is.
Tell us more about your book. Wow. Tell us more about your book, the title, what influenced you to write that book, and maybe you read one or two lines from the book for our teaming audience, and educate us more about your book.
Yeah, so the book is called 13, and it's
Okay.
all about overcoming adversity with strength, through strength. Yeah. Yeah.
So, what influenced you to write the book? This is a collection of poems, right?
Yeah, it's a collection of poems, different poems.
Yes, written by you, huh?
Written by me, yeah, all written by
Oh
me.
wow!
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. So, can we have like one or two lines? What influenced you? What influenced you to write that? And maybe one or two lines from the book for our team audience.
Right, yeah, sure. So what influenced me to write it is the feeling that we all go through adversity, and we all sometimes blame it on something. We can blame it on
No,
ourselves,
exactly.
rather than actually trying to see how we could find a way through. So for me, the moment I stop blaming or looking for another reason and try to take responsibility and deal with the issue, that's when you start to make more progress and you feel like you're going to get somewhere. And because we're all going to go through problems, but if we have that practical approach, practical mindedness to our problems, we can actually make something.
Can we have okay, we're going to take a commercial break now. When we come back, we're going to be taking one or two lines from this wonderful book called 13. And he will be telling us how we can get this book, and other topics as we wind up. See you after the commercial break.
We listen to the same sound, which confirms our identity. When we were spun around, when we were turned down. We stand at half-mast, we cling to pain past. When we were spun around, when we were turned down.
Welcome back from the commercial break. And remember, we still have in our studio a wonderful man, young man that really impresses me with what he's been able to do for himself and how he's planning to influence society. Mr. Patrick Anyadi is here with us at the studio. And before we went to the commercial break, we were talking about his book. Now, Mr. Patrick, can we have one or two wonderful lines from your book? And let's have the pleasure of listening to one or two lines from your book.
All right. All right. So this poem is called Biggest Nigerian Export.
Mm.
Not oil, not cocoa,
Yeah.
not green hydropo, not youth, bones crushed. As soon as I cruise in cold air, past the satchel water carrier, arms spread, peddling harrier. I scrape myself from my seat and ponder, gazing past Nigeria into the yonder.
Mm.
I wonder if I'll find my dreams, along with the rest of my school. Surging, I swim, while Wike fights for Bara.
It's funny.
Competition, competition in Guzape.
So let us have one or two lines from your book.
Sure. So this poem is called Biggest Nigerian Export.
Mm.
Not oil, not cocoa, not green hydropo, not youth, bones crushed. As soon as I cruise in cold air, past the satchel water carrier, arms spread, peddling harrier. I scrape myself off my seat and ponder, gazing past Nigeria into the yonder.
Mm.
I wonder if I'll find my dreams, along with the rest of my school. Surging, I swim, while Wike fights for Bara. Competition in Guzape as the oil flows. Organic matter that feeds the nation and piques interest. Business against business. Eat or eaten. Stamped colonial legacies. No refuge in blackened white hands. Hanseatic subterfuge. And still I stand. More machinery, same people, different weather. Quick smiles and weak handshakes. Jumbled customs. Touching down on land, surrounded by a sea of competition. Yeah.
Wow, this is deep. Can you pleasure us with another one?
Another one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sure. Let me see which one.
Wow.
Okay, so
okay. Before then,
okay,
can you just
I've got one.
explain? Okay, if you finish, then okay. Let's have.
No,
it.
let me explain. Let me explain that.
Okay.
Because it makes more sense.
yeah. So just explain. Yeah.
Yeah. So the meaning of this poem is really to try and get at what we want as Nigerians to portray of ourselves in the world, and it's talking about like our biggest export, which is like our biggest,
oil. Exactly.
what we're known for. So I want people to come away from this belief that, you know, Nigeria is just about oil. It's an oil nation, and just speaks more to the truth. You know, I speak about different things in the poem, but ultimately, what I want to try and get at is that we can be different things.
Exactly.
And we are definitely very competitive. So I feel like competition.
No, we are. Yeah. No, it's natural in us. It's inborn.
Exactly. So I feel like
it's inborn. It's inborn. You know, there was something you just said now that our greatest, you said not oil and not cocoa. You see, so before the discovery of oil, it was cocoa. That was like Nigeria made so much money. We had so much money even before the discovery of oil. I think the discovery of oil now made us crazy because a certain president said the problem is not the money. The problem is what to do with the money. And we had so much money that we didn't know what to do with the money. And that was the same time that the United Arab Emirates came to Nigeria to loan money, to come and invest. It was just a desert. And Nigerian politicians then said, goes to a desert. What are you going to do in a desert? So here is a country.
Nigeria used to be like one of the biggest oil exporters in the world.
Nigeria is one of
I
the
think
is not it's one of
exporters.
the world biggest exporter of oil in the world.
No, no, it used to be. It
You
used to
can
be even
see,
bigger. It used to be even
yes,
bigger.
it used to be bigger, yeah. You
Yeah.
know, so unfortunately,
As a percentage of what it is in the world,
exactly,
not maybe.
exactly,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. Now there's a slang that they say, "Niger to the world." Niger to the world. In the sense that Nigerians are everywhere. Look at what our entertainment export has been able to do. Look at what our sports exports have able to do in the world. You cannot talk about football in the world without speaking about the influence of Nigeria and Nigerians playing abroad. You can't. Either those that actually came directly from Nigeria, or those who were born outside Nigeria but of Nigerian parents, Saka and the other people. You can't talk about music in the world today without mentioning the Davidos, the Burna Boys, the Rema, and everybody. You can't talk about the banking sector without talking about influences of folks like Zenith Bank and the rest. So, so like you said, I agree with you that our greatest export, oil, is even supposed to be one of our least exports. The human capacity we have is an export. When Nigerians control most of the big hospitals, most of the big pharmaceuticals, most of the big scientific all across the world are Nigerians. In fact, Nigeria are the biggest migrants in the world, the most influential migrants, of African descent, most influential, most intelligent, everything are Nigerians. Now, how can we key into this, to really leverage and bring Nigeria out of the doldrum? I agree with you. I agree with what you said. Let's have the second one, sir. If you pleasure us.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. So next poem is Igbo poem. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, 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 wow.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Ogechukwu means business. I can see it in his
Hmm.
eyes. Glint hard as flint, weathered by waters from the east, sharpened to a T.
Yeah.
Ogechukwu means business. In busyness, he
Hmm.
takes the world. As it spins, he grins, eyeballs flick, shine, and whirl. Glimmer of hope in this baby of Biafra. Bulging gland, eking endless naira. Nigerian escapee fly ever higher. In the race to be the essence, Igbo could never tire.
Hmm.
Culture carried in our sacks, we bear Olympic fires. Our forebears have a knowledge bigger than the books. Sat
Wow,
beside my Igwe who deciphers moves and looks. Sat beside my Igwe, I learn the nooks and the crooks.
wow,
My
wow,
forebears
wow.
taught responsibility is one's inclination to say no. Can't shuck Ogechukwu, can't tie Ogechukwu up. Well connected, self respected, thoughts collected, and academic.
That is that is wonderful. In fact, everybody go and get this book because of this Igbo poem. Because I'm speaking like as a chief, that's one wonderful. Can you tell our teaming audience how they can lay hands on this wonderful book?
Sure. So I'm on TikTok at prescribed poetry, like a prescription, prescribed poetry. And on my TikTok store, you can find my book. Yeah. So we're actually releasing more as well. We've got more releases coming. Ones are with
Yep.
the printer at the moment. But there'll be more copies coming up in the future as well.
But
For
do you
my
have
next.
prints? Do you have was everything just online, or do you have printed ones too?
Yeah. I've got a whole load of printed ones. So if you see me at an
Oh,
event, I always carry them with me. So you can always ask me at an event. I know we've got an event coming
so
up, haven't we? So
what do they cost? I mean, like to have.
oh, of course. So in person, this is £7.50 if you buy it from me in person.
Okay.
Online for postage and packaging, I price it at £13. Hence the name
Online, huh?
13. Yeah, yeah.
So for those of us who are in the United Kingdom and all across the world, I mean,
Yeah.
they could, if somebody decides to buy from me in person and wants
Yeah.
you to send them to them, like if I, like, somebody somewhere and want you to send it to them, is it possible, or do they just have to they just have to order it online?
Yeah, so online is where I would point people to first,
To point people to, yeah.
and then I would then yeah, fulfill the order um,
Mm.
with um,
Order online, yeah.
with
It's
the
better. So,
carriers online. Yeah. Or if you
all right.
see
So,
me in person, I
it's
always
in
carry my
person,
zines
okay.
with me.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I always carry them with me as well. But it might
So,
be some difficult for some people to reach me from like in
yeah, that's
person.
true. That's
So
true.
yeah,
That's
that's why
true.
I do have the online
That's
store
true.
as well.
That's true. That's true. So,
Yeah.
guys, you've heard from him. Please, the link and everything will be scrolling on your screen, so that we could do well to patronize this guy. Look, that money you will have used for a bottle of beer, that money you will have used to sit in the pub. Why not buy this book and give to your child? Sometimes we complain that our children are losing the social media and the influence of the mobile phone and internet and everything have made us have weaker children. Children don't read anymore. And how can you be a leader if you are not a reader? So I want to encourage all parents, if you're watching this now, try to lay hand on this book. Get this book. That is this wonderful thing about poetry. It builds the mind. It builds the mind. I was telling somebody that growing up, we used to write love letters. Growing up, we used to write those little letters and stuff like that. And for you to really impress any lady, you must be a good writer. You must be a good writer. So some of us that were writers, yeah, we had people that would come and meet us and hire us to write for them. All those the sunshine in the morning, your light in on my day, the lily by the road, your rose by the flower. When I think of stuff like that, those kind of rhymes. We always had this. But what those things did was they actually sharpened our wits, because some of the people you see we actually wrote those letters to. It didn't have anything to do with you, but you see you wrote them. And because you wrote them, you own them. If you write it, you own it. And it sharpened our writing skills. Now you have people autocorrect on mobile phone. Before you make it will give you different options, correct you, autocorrect and stuff like that, T dictionary and stuff like that. And you have people now writing very, very bad English. You have people that cannot even compose a simple letter. There are people that cannot even compose, they cannot even write, an application letter. It's funny. Graduates, so-called graduates, finish university, and if you tell them apply for a job, they can't even apply. They don't even know how to start. It's funny. So what many people now do is to go to Chat GPT. That makes it worse. Yeah, Chat GPT will just write the whole stuff for you. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's so unfortunate. So I want to believe that you're making what you're doing is a good thing, and I want to encourage you. And I'm also a poet myself. This is the
Yeah,
part of me that many people don't know, that I also write poems.
yeah.
Recently, ROYALTV were given an award in London for being one of the most creative online TVs in the UK. And we just started. We do this for fun. And but they've been following us, our podcast, and the kind of content that we actually we make balanced. Everything we do is balanced. So there is this poem. Let me just read it out. I said, the word of value. A prophet, they say, is not recognized at home, so he goes abroad. His value is underrated, his worth contested, his contributions neglected. Some even try to have him arrested. The bells of life goes ding dong, like the giant strokes of King Kong. Life stories are written in an invisible ink. Only the omnipotent knows the true link. One day we shall all sit down like the wise knights at a round table, mentoring the next generation with the intriguing accounts of our fable. A prophet, they say, is without word of value in his vicinity, but like Jason Bonney, I seek my true identity. Chris, the sweet, nice guy. So I wrote this like in appreciation of the award that we won. And talking about the award, right
Yeah,
behind
that's
me
it.
here
Wow. Speak.
is the award that was given to myself as an influencer, as somebody that have actually actually affected his generation and the generation next, and in using our platform to influence people positively, because you have different types of influence. You have bad influence. I mean, who am I to speak to somebody like you, a wonderful man like you? But I feel you were attracted to me from the beginning because of something. And here we are having this podcast. And I know as time goes on, we'll continue. So I want to thank the Actors Guild of Nigeria and also the Elegant Flicks magazine. Elegant Flicks magazine, part of the sponsors of those that gave us this award. So I want to thank Her Royal Majesty, Chief Florence Okonkwo, who is the CEO of Elegant Flicks magazine, for this wonderful award in conjunction with the Actors Guild of Nigeria. I also want to thank the president, Alhaji Abubakar, for this wonderful award. And I can tell you that they said to whom much is given, much is really expected. Any last word for Royal TV, even as we try to wind up, sir?
No, thank you.
You want to say something? You want to say something to Royal TV? You want to say something to encourage us? Any word of encouragement to the staffs of Royal TV?
Gosh, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I like that. Keep doing what you're doing. And our people say, onye agwara si ya mewe nke ọ na-eme na nke ọ na-eme dị mma. Asị gị jije nke iji na nke iji dị mma. When you're told to hold on to what you're holding, whatever you're holding is a good thing. If you're told to keep doing what you're doing, whatever you're doing is a good thing. On this note, I would like to thank you, sir, for taking out time from the business. I was going to ask you one question. Do you have any plan to start up like a poetry hub, like a hub or stuff like that, yeah? Where creative minds like you, creative minds like us can like come together and actually use our words to really affect society positively.
Yeah. We have our first content creator camp coming up in Enugu this September, actually. Yeah.
Oh wow, in Enugu.
Yeah.
Wow, you'll be traveling down to Nigeria, yeah?
Yeah, this September. Yeah.
Wow. So what date again?
That'll be sometime in late September.
Late September. Okay.
Around the sort of time of Iri G, for those of you who know around the New Yam Festival.
Yeah.
It'll be probably before then. Not quite at the end of September, but like around. I actually need to finalize this with my marketing director,
Okay. So let's just keep in touch.
It will be between it's now 30th. Let me check the dates. I've got them here. So September 22nd, 23rd. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, so from September 2026. Yeah, so I think it'll be from the 22nd.
No.
Through one night, 2 nights, 3 nights. Yeah. From the 22nd to the 25th. Yeah, we're not sure. We'll either start on the 22nd or the 23rd. We're still looking for a location. So if you have any ideas, and I really welcome them. But we're planning to gather people who are interested in written art, like poetry, literature, a chef, like a chef content creator that can cook for us. Like a musician, music artist, and we're going to provide security, we're going to provide accommodation, and we're going to provide.
Okay, then let's so we will after this we'll discuss this so that I can spring up some of my, my influences in Nigeria, and we can see how. But this is wonderful.
Yeah.
I could even look forward to, let's see what happens. But I can tell you, Chuku Merije's son, the Taekwondo is a great poet, and he is somebody that has been doing great things. We'll see how we can link up and stuff like that. It's been a pleasure speaking to you, and I believe that this is just the beginning of a lot of beginning. Please, whenever we call on you, we'll be glad for you to bless us with your presence. Yeah, and with that, we come to the end of this edition of a podcast of Common Sense with Chief Chris. Remember, we have with us a poet, a wonderful young man who is. Are you still looking for love or you found love? Which one?
I found love.
You found love. The last time you was looking for love.
I don't know if I can say that. You know, the way God loves you is difficult to love somebody that way. You know, it's a challenge. But
it's true.
I keep praying.
Yeah, praying. Yeah. I will know what to say. Let us let the cat out of her, maybe her name, so that we could say hello to her. But if that is okay, it's okay. You know,
You want me to tell you who she is?
She is, yes, her name. So we could just say hello to her. Let's celebrate her online, you know. But yeah.
All right.
But
we can do it.
Yeah.
We can do it. Okay. Do you want to do it off air or on air?
On air, if you want. Why not? Say a shout out to her. Why not? Come on.
Right. Okay. Shout out to Rebecca.
A strong man. See the influence of a woman. He just said, so shy. It's been wonderful speaking with you. It's always a pleasure speaking with you. You're a young man I admire so much. And let me tell you something. There was a word you told me. You know, I shed tears when I listened to that voice note you sent me. I shed tears because the greatest gift you can give to any person of art is appreciation. That's all. Sometimes people don't know. Money is good, yes, but money didn't influence you to start writing what you wrote. It's not money that influenced you, because you could be a billionaire, but you don't have the sense of art. It's not given by money, it is gift. So I want to appreciate you. And I can tell you that this is the beginning of a lot of beginning. We're going to do greater things. And I will see you picking up one of these awards one of these days for the wonderful thing that you've done. Congratulations. And then with that, we've come to a wrap. We've said this, we've come to a wrap like 3 times, but now we've actually come to a wrap. We've only come to a wrap. To today's, my producer is then screaming. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, Mr. Patrick. And I believe that this is your book. It's definitely a banger. Go get 13. Go get 13. Go get 13. Go get that book now. Go get it now.
Prescribed poetry.
Subscribe poetry.
Prescribed with a P. Prescribed.
Yes. Wow. If you prescribe, you get something. And that's it. And it's been a pleasure. And please like, comment, subscribe to our channel, and let common sense go viral. Thank you. See you some other time.
He had bought a large map representing the sea, without the least vestige of land. And the crew were much pleased when they found it to be a map they could all understand. What's the good of Mercator's North Poles and Equators, tropic zones and meridian lines? So the bellman would cry, and the crew would reply, they are merely conventional signs. Other maps have such shapes, with their islands and capes, but we've got our brave captain to thank. So the crew would protest that he's brought us the best, a perfect and absolute blank. Come, listen, my man, while I tell you again the 5 unmistakable marks by which you may know, wheresoever you go, the warranted, genuine snarks. Let us take them in order. The first is the taste, which is meagre and hollow but crisp, like a coat that is rather too tight in the waist, with the flavour of will-o'-the-wisp. It's a habit of getting up late, you'll agree, that it carries too far when I say that it frequently breakfasts at 5 o'clock tea and dines on the following day. The third is its slowness in taking a jest, should you happen to venture on one. It will sigh like a thing that is deeply distressed, and it always looks grave at a pun. The fourth is its fondness for bathing machines, which it believes enhances the view. The fifth is ambition. It next will be right to describe each particular badge, distinguishing those that have feathers and bite from those that have whiskers and scratch. For although common snarks do no manner of harm, yet I feel it my duty to say, some are boojums. The bellman broke off in alarm, for the baker had fainted away.
Royal TV exclusive interview, speaking to those who are changing the narrative.